Modern day masculine man, take one. Modern day masculine man, take one.
What makes a modern day masculine man? When you drink your liquor straight, a modern day masculine man. I pay all the bills and I tells my woman the truth. Got my shit together, do what I wanna do, say what I wanna say. I won't break you, or not me, and I am not you. I kept it real, so now I can do what I wanna
do. What's up, my guy? I don't know what the hell happened with all that just now. That shit sounded like organized nothingness. Beautiful, happy Tuesday to you, man. How your week doing? Can I get somebody in the crowd to give us a yay, or a what's up, or a hood soul if y'all can hear us coming through good and clear?
Man, I feel good, man. Been a good week, man.
Man, you look good. You goddamn got a light shining on your face like Moses when he came off top of the mountaintop. So I feel like you finna bust us down with something wonderful today.
Well, you know how it go. Hey, that's where we want the glow.
Exactly. Glow. Glow.
Yeah.
Trab, man, we finna have a good conversation, a real conversation tonight, man. And Miss Carla, you know, she come up with these topics, and you know, sometimes I look at them and I be like, and then sometimes when I get to thinking about them, it make me really think like, wow, she's really talking about some in-depth stuff. I can remember this sister explaining her life and her struggles and what she go through and this, that, and the other, and just almost having a pity party about how hard the struggle is. And I had made a video about that, and I'll talk about it in a minute. And then this one lady asked her, well, what are you outside of a single mother? Man, and it got quiet. And that girl couldn't answer that question. You know what I'm saying? She couldn't answer that question. So tonight, man, before we get started, man, how your week been, man? I just want to get a touch up how your week been, how you been going, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, we all ain't above the bullshit. We got to marginalize it. How your week been, man?
Man, it's been a powerful week. It's day 2 in a sense, but it's been powerful, man. Manifestation. You know, we talk about it, and I don't mean it in no woke way or no way like that. Just really been working towards something and to get them affirmations, man. To realize you on the path. Boy, feel good no matter how small, man.
Yeah, man, that's how I feel. Like for real. Like I really feel like I'm on the path to something. I'm on the way to something. I feel like I feel you remember that song back in the day at church? How that thing go? Let me turn this down a little bit in here. It was a song back in the day. I don't feel no waste time.
I come too far to turn back now. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I come too far to turn back now.
Mm-hmm. And we used to say, to go there with it. We used to say it like this. I feel nobody told me that the road would be easy, and I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. That's how we used to sing it. And it's like, man, as a man outside of the grind, because that's what we're going to talk about tonight. What are you outside of the grind? You know, Chris Rock said something. He said a man is never appreciated and loved unconditionally, only women, children, and dogs. And a lot of people can empathize and identify with that. You know, I feel like I'm loved unconditionally in by my wife. You know what I'm saying? Although I know they say the women are hypergamy, and if she meets somebody better, they can take care of her better, this, that, and the other, and da 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 da. But like my wife always said, we tied to each other's purpose. And like you and your old lady, you said y'all had a traumatic bond that really bonded y'all together and wanted a family. So I feel like I'm loved unconditionally, but I do understand what the man is saying. Yeah. I've had situations where even my older brother was telling me about a family member that was supposed to be like my little favorite and I'm her favorite. Da, da, da. My brother said, tell her no one time and see how she act. You know, and I'm like, man, stop hating, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I told her no one time and I saw how she act. He was exactly right. You know what I'm saying? So who are we without this grind?
Well, you know, man, when I first heard the topic, you know, like you say, okay, that's what we're going to talk about. Who are we without the grind? And I think we all know, and we all just got that answer a couple years ago in COVID. A lot of people found out who they really are.
Yeah.
You couldn't go get your hair done. You couldn't go do no frivolous type of things. We had to sit down and really deal with our true self and each other. So I think it's even powerful now that we ask the question, because the question is more powerful than the answer sometimes. But you know who you are. You just out. And I think coming out of COVID, we all trying to adjust with what we found out about ourselves during that period.
You know what, Trav? I'm sharing this to Facebook hopefully right now. Man, let me tell you something. When COVID hit, the boredom, and I was in a situation where you know, with my business, I got paid. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I got paid, so I didn't have to work. Those 2 years, I didn't have to work. And when I say the boredom, and I realized in that time that what I really wanted to be, I want to be what I'm doing now. You know, sometimes it's hard to say. We think our ego is arrogant to want to be heard. You know what I'm saying? I want to be heard, man. I'm a man that wants to be heard. I figured out who I am outside of a husband, outside of a father, outside of the job, you know, outside of all the things that traditionally make me feel like a man. I had made a video for Father's Day and I forgot to post it. I was saying some of the things that I do as a man, I dread doing, I don't like doing, I get tired of doing it. But when I'm finished doing it, that's what make me feel good. Like I did some man shit. I did some father shit. And it's like, no matter how tired I feel doing it, some of the shit I don't think I would necessarily, I really see how some niggas be deadbeats sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But I don't understand the self-intrinsic happiness that I get from saying, I just put that fucking crib together. You know, I put that shit together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, you know, man, I always go back to this saying, and it come from Players Club. And when they told her, they say, make the money, don't let the money make you. You know, that transcends outside of that stripper context. That's a real powerful saying of life, because the grind is associated with what you do for money. And money sometimes determine our value, whether what we can buy, where we can go, or so on and so on. But it's like some things money can't buy. That's who you are. You know, what is it that you'll do for free? A gift is given with the expectations of nothing in return. I got to give it for somebody. So like you say, you want to be heard when ain't no money involved and it's for free. Guess who they hear in the other room? Boy, that's Javon in there talking this shit. So who you are without your grind, that's who you effortlessly are for free. And those who got access to you, they know your value and they show it. But that's how you know who you are without the grind. What are you and who are you for free when money ain't involved?
I want to talk about this thing, man. You know, I customarily never really liked Kirk Franklin, But as I get older and I'm getting to see Kurt talk regular outside of the dick twerking and the dancing and shit, I'm kind of starting to fuck with Kurt hard, man. And I watched the show with Kirk Franklin. He had DC Young Fly on there. He had Country Wayne and a couple of other guys. And he was saying, this new thing since Dion been out, you got to be a dog. You got to be a dog. You got to be a dog. I sat there and I watched it and I said to myself, and I questioned myself, and I rarely question myself. I almost felt a level of guilt when he said, in order to be a black man, as hard as you have to work, you got to be a dog to chase your dreams. And I said, do I have that dog in me for my own self? Because I know hey, listen, at jobs I done had and teaching school, man, I done went all out. I wanted the accolades. I worked in a way in which nobody could ever say he didn't do his job. I wanted to be blameless. I wanted to be flawless. And I was like, goddamn, Kurt, you done woke some up in me that make me question, do I have that dog for, like I said, wanting to be the person that want to be heard? Or am I speaking as much as I can? Am I not cutting up enough videos? Am I not? You see what I'm saying? There was a time where, and even now, sometime, people ask me to be on a platform or to come to their city and debate this person, this, that, and the other. And that was one time I was smoking hot where every big name wanted to debate me, and I was like, I don't want to debate these niggas, man. I don't want to debate these niggas on stuff that can't be proved. And it had me questioning and feeling guilty and looking back at myself like, nigga, did you blow an opportunity to be that nigga? You see what I'm saying? So how do you feel about that? Just me saying that. How do you feel about that?
Man, I feel like you pulling the cords on me, man. Just in terms of the comparison to Kurt Franklin. We as men, especially as black men, man, we chase approval. We chase acceptance. We chase that. Sometimes we ain't get it from our parents. That's something in us. We got to prove something for our worth to be validated. So, like I say, who are you for free? Now, like you say, man, is that dog in you like Kurt? Is that dog in all the people who we see somewhat been validated? Bottom line, they got the money, they got the wealth, they got it. They ain't convincing nobody of anything. Everybody know Kurt Franklin is who he is.
He's validated. I like that word, and that's when we're gonna use that word a lot more in this show. Go ahead.
So chasing that validation on every level. Most of it, when you're dealing with black men, it got something to do with hurt. We want our parents to believe in us and know that, man, we somebody. So who we are without that grind, sometimes we don't know who he is. Or acceptance to say that, and I'm gonna be real today with my book. I'm gonna share this. I had a phone call from Hawaii. I ain't know no number from Hawaii. I thought it was a spam call, but this real life shit. Some made me say, yeah, hey, sit here with a book of yours. I'm like, oh shit, somebody fucking with me. But it was the reality of something so real that if I made my book with intentions, it done hit a bullseye. But in that moment, dog, this real life shit, this ain't for show. This ain't for fashion. I ain't getting paid for this. Nobody ain't gonna see this online to say, man, his book changing lives. So I got to be understanding that when I say each one reach one, each one teach one, if you are that one, you are enough. Who are you when ain't nobody looking? Are you enough? Are we enough for each other, Javon? If this ain't nothing but just a conversation for us understanding each other, are we enough or not?
Yeah, just two men talking. If nobody even watching this shit,
and that's who you is without the grind, dog.
Yeah,
is we enough or is we ain't? And if you can't accept that, then like I say, maybe the grind represents something more than you really understand about you.
That validation that you speak on, do you think that's why a lot of motherfuckers fucked up? Because I ain't gonna lie, mentally, I say black men, me personally, I say we self-medicate with drugs, sex, food, and alcohol. You know what I mean? And it's like, as far as mental health is concerned, I don't think I have any mental health issues or mental health problems, but I know I be going through a lot of mental shit in my head. and it's really my thoughts. And what it boiled down to, you said a word, man, that we really gotta harp on this validation. I think the mental health thoughts or whatever, it's all about me seeking validation in my head. Now, let me explain what I mean. Like you said today, when you got the call from Hawaii, did you put your phone number on your book?
No, I think whoever sent him the book put some information.
Okay.
Somebody sent him the book.
Okay.
As a means for whatever that was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm just listening at the law of attraction, just listening at the blessing. And it's like, I'm like, well, damn, if he put his phone number on his book, somebody called him. But if it happened another way. So the point I'm making is, when you got that call, there was some validation in your mind of, damn, like you say, you're saying each one reach one, each one teach one. If you the one, you are enough. That's a powerful saying. Say that shit again. I think people don't really be listening hard as they should. Say that shit again.
Each one reach one, each one teach one. If you are that one, then you got to know you are enough.
That's so point being, when you got that validation of that call from Hawaii, nobody's looking at you, nobody's watching you, nobody know that, man, this guy just changed the life.
Nobody but me and that person.
Now, why do we need that public validation? Because that's what I think all my mental health issues come from. Because when I sit back and I look at my own life, just personally, without that thing, who are you without the grind? That me that wants to be heard. Sometimes I say to myself, as I look at my real life, my job, my wife, my child, my home, I'd be like, man, if I just cut this damn computer off and this phone off and stop trying to be heard, I have such a beautiful, blessed, peaceful, wonderful life.
Hey, look,
you know what I'm saying?
Javon. Oh my God, man, it's so powerful, dog. We got it's like this. Every ingredient that makes something is the ingredient. Now you can spaz high or low on the ingredients, but the recipe is the recipe. So as a man who's standing in posture with a wife, a family, a home, every piece of the puzzle that completes a man, if you're standing in that, then you realize the only thing that makes it different is the brand that we use in the ingredients. But some people don't even realize they have all the pieces that everybody fighting for. Let me say this about manifestation in this, right? It was about 2-3 years ago, man, I came in on your live. You let me in, and we kicked it. It led us to this day. But there's a young man in real life, and I'm gonna give him a shout out, Chris K. Dog Mayfield. He reached out to me. He came down here and he was working. So he just reached out to me, and I met the brother. He said, bro, I met you, man. I came in contact with who you was when you came on Brother Clark. He said, bro, and the way y'all kicked it, man, that was powerful. And I met that brother in real life. And I'm telling you, you do bears and bubbles. Man, you gave this young man a foundation to stand on and kick some real righty judo. And he a young man that's really out here being everything we project for young men to be. So when I say, is he enough? And what makes him not enough is we ain't rich by this shit.
Or famous,
or famous, or you see what I'm saying, man? Or in the illusion of validation. But we real already. The only thing that could change between now and next Tuesday is the amount of people that get exposed to us.
And see, like you saying, the validation. I talk to my wife all the time. You know, I feel like I'm a prophet. I've been kicking this shit for years, and people just starting to catch up. And I said, Chris, ain't like somebody's gonna say, hear ye, all of social media, everybody in the world. Javon Clark was right, and he is a prophet, and everybody clap for him. It's like, what am I seeking? This validation that I'm seeking, man, it's not even monetary. It's when I say, of course, everybody want to make some money from what they're doing. That's what the old man said, find something you love to do and you never work again. So I love talking. You know what I'm saying? I so look forward to this. I can't believe, you know, like looking at life when we talk about who we are and the grind minus the grind. I've been talking in my phone. Javon, do a podcast. Javon, do a podcast. Javon. And I'm like, I don't want to feel committed to, you know, having, how can I say this? Having to take care of family is enough responsibility for me as a man than to be committed to chasing a motherfucking dream that I could fail at and be disappointed and sad at and make my blood pressure go up throughout the process of doing this shit.
Well, like you say, man, why? Hey, look, you know what we say. Why are you doing it then? You say you want to live your life. Well, tell me what it looked like. Like you say, are you willing to sacrifice what it take to get there? We know what it take, Javon.
Yeah.
We know what it take, dog. You're a
Exactly.
musician. Man, we know what it take. But is that worth me leaving my wife and children to go get some money?
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Or,
Is that worth me leaving my wife and children, leaving them vulnerable, leaving them, if you know what matters and who matters, loving them become easy. Does money really matter that much for me to already have every piece of the puzzle? Does me driving 2015 matters to be driving a 25? Is the sacrifices worth that? And what is that?
mm-hmm.
That's for validation.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So the more I think about it, when we say who we are without this grind, the validation is the cause of the mental stress, whether it's money, whether it's ending up on the Breakfast Club, whether it's ending up on The View, whatever the fuck we think this validation is, that's going to make us feel like we did it. You know what I'm saying? And different people have validation on different levels. But like you say, with Chris K Dog, and the people that I know I've touched, that validation is what keep me going. It's like saying, I know damn well I'm reaching somebody. I've been a school teacher before. I see my students now come back, Clark, and I'm like, and it's tears in their eyes. And my wife have been with me, and they like, Clark, da, da, da. And I'm like, what's up, bro? And they like, man, such and such. Second period. I'm like, bro, I know you having a moment, but I don't remember you because you were a child. You got a beard now. You got a wife and child standing right here. I can't remember who you are, bro. And they be like, Clark, you don't remember me, man? I was such and such. And then once they say, that's when we can hug and really embrace. And I know for a fact that I'm enough. I know this. We see this. We see this. So what I'm saying is, if I know what I am, I'm someone that wants to be heard, and I see this validation and I feel it daily in my own way, why do I keep beating myself up about where I am on the course of the validation? Like the song, nobody, it's like we sing these shits and we know it, but we have to have these conversations to remind us, nobody told me the road would be easy.
I'm going to tell you what was told to me. And I always said in some type of way that I know it's a fear, but I don't know what I'm scared of. And I think it's ultimately becoming the very same thing. And I'm speaking this in terms of me, and I think a mirror spirit of you. It's ultimately becoming that which we know that we often get crucified for in the presence of mediocrity, in the presence of everything that makes us almost feel like who you think you is. You think you better than somebody, and really holding back already at this point the fear of, man, you're gonna really crucify me if I let go. So I think we scared of validating it ourselves, because that shit can be dangerous in a sense. And I'm gonna speak for me. Like, we'll give examples to say Malcolm X, Martin Luther. You see what happened? Well, I really know if everybody find out what these people in real life find out, I'm one of the ones. You understand what I'm saying, man? And I think that validation becomes fear.
Man, you said that so real. So let me reinterpret. Let me interpret, because you just said something that I never would say on camera. Ever. It's like I tell myself in law of attraction, I'm gonna do it without having to be a martyr. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, if you get this hero training out like it's supposed to be, some motherfucking body gonna see how valuable it is, and they not gonna want you to keep talking this shit. Hey, especially if you get enough black people listening at this hero training. Like, those are conversations me and my wife had, and it was certain things I said, and I'll use Charleston White for example, you know, because I feel like he patterned himself after me. No matter how you cut it, he sit in his car yelling and screaming. That's what he do. He went a little further than me, you know, as far as saying certain shit that he felt. Like, I won't gonna put my children at risk. I live in a gang city, Bloods and Crips city. I got 2 kids in 2 different high schools, and I'm very, very fucking popular in my city. So I won't gonna go out here and say, kill all the Crips and Bloods. Them motherfuckers in my city will come to your house. They will come get your ass. You know what I'm saying? So I just wasn't gonna do that. But the point I'm making is, ain't no way, don't nobody want these young black men delivered. As I'm reading your book, it's just a simple roadmap to self-discovery and freedom, and to being your own hero. And if too many people, man, that shit, how can man, people benefit. I'm trying to say this is a nice way. I don't want to get killed talking this shit.
Nah, man, nah. Well, let me put that in context. Hey, look, fuck that. I ain't
I'm just saying, hey man, you think you, but I always say I'm not gonna be a martyr. But you don't think if Trab Perry and hero training, the shit you talking, gonna replace the music industry? People not gonna want to hear that rap shit. People not gonna want to watch that bullshit when they get on this hero shit.
Well, let me say this right here. I'm gonna say this right here, Javon.
Trab said, "Don't talk to death."
Now, look at it like this, and I'm gonna put a pause to the cause. And this is the duality of manhood and realness. I work in manufacturing. Been working there all my life since I was 18 years old. Had 2 jobs. Yeah. Leadership on both jobs. I had a conversation with a guy who was about to retire, who said, "Boy, you got about 24 more years." And I had a real moment to say, God damn, I got to do this shit for 24 more years. And I say, fuck retirement. I hope I'm living that long. You understand what I'm saying, man? Man, I'm tired than a motherfucker right now. So everything that's in this aspect, boy, I'm throwing Hail Marys. I'm throwing goddamn bombs. I'm trying to hit that big route. You understand what I'm saying? In a sense, to say that at this point, at 47, I don't know what it can be, but hey, look, man, I'm going for the gusto, dog. You know what I mean, man? Boy, it got to be worth something. And I don't think like that. But hey, I deal with it if it get real. They say, can you get real with it when it get real?
Yeah, like
let me get there.
You know, to me, man, like you say, you throwing bombs, being tired. Your book is a motherfucking Hail Mary. Come with me. It's a Hail Mary. It's like my granddaddy used to always say, "Hey, boy, you got to keep a piece of wood on the fire." And it's like something you know, I got some things. I done threw some bombs. I'm just waiting on the catch. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
I was in Hollywood this past summer, or can't remember how. So I'm actually waiting on a movie to come out.
Come on.
Like I'm waiting on that, and I'm sometimes I forget this. You know, when you throw these bombs, sometimes you forget this. You know that, man, I got some shit set up. I got some shit that I'm working on, or some shit that I've done that I'm waiting on to be manifested. Sometimes you forget it in the process of being tired. I want to read something that Miss Carla wrote when you said tired. Black male identity. When we think of the black male identity, we think about what we can produce and survival. That's what we think about. What can you produce and survival? And it's funny. It's like, if you can't produce nothing as a black man, you're not gonna feel no type of way, even if you're surviving. You get what I'm saying? It's like I sit back and I can see how some people be hooked on drugs, man. It's come from not producing, not feeling that feeling of, I just did some man shit. I could really see when I met my father and I talked to him, you know, and my dad, smart man, intelligent man, owned a couple of businesses, you know what I'm saying? And even now, you know, got off drugs. And I asked him, I said, how did you have 6 sons and not care about what was going on and da 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 da? He said, that's the problem, son. I cared and I couldn't make nothing happen. He said, so all I did every day for years was get high. Ashamed that I couldn't make nothing happen at the time. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine how that would feel to can't make something happen to the point where I go hide from everything that I think I'm supposed to love, or whatever my responsibility is. Not only do I go hide from it, I destroy myself in the process because I can't produce nothing while I'm surviving.
You know, though, Javon, that's real life shit. And I always say this, man, if the truth don't work, nothing will. And your daddy told you the absolute truth, dog.
Yeah, man. And that truth is why I can't be mad at him. Like, damn.
Instantly, but check this out, though. Instantly, you better.
Instantly, fix me right on up.
Look, you better than him.
Mm-hmm.
You better than him. The cycle starts. You better than him. So, God, man.
And I'm going to tell you something too, Trav. Like when he say each one teach one, you are enough, you matter. Just that day fixed that little boy in me that used to cry and follow behind any nigga that was cool, that had a decent grade of hair and was my skin complexion, tall. I remember niggas used to put them creases in their pants. I don't know why in my mind I used to have this vision. My daddy got sharp creases. You know what I'm saying? So I would gravitate to any cool tall nigga. But man, that day when he told me how he felt not being able to, I was expecting some old bullshit or this, that, and the other. But that day that when he told me, you know what I'm saying, I was destroying myself because I couldn't deal with the fact that I couldn't do nothing for you. Man. You know what I'm saying? And that made me, I don't know why it made me feel such an empathy for him, but more than anything, just his honest truth was like, I never heard nobody say they did drugs for that reason. You know, it is always, I lost my job, I lost my wife. Like, this motherfucker's like, I was so ashamed of myself. I wanted to not feel how that felt, to the furthest extent of chasing dope every day just to not feel how that feel.
And you were supposed to feel empathy. You felt what you were supposed to feel.
Yeah.
You understand? I want to go back to validation, but even in this point, a week ago you did a book review and I shared it.
Mm-hmm.
And in the caption I put, This man was a high school teacher and college professor. And then every time someone would call me about that, I would say, "Yeah, man, that's my man. He a high school teacher." And one of my homeboys said, "Why you gotta say that? Why you gotta say that part?" I say, "Nah, because that's who he is." He said, "You only saying that because you think what he is validates you. You think you validating your book because someone who has what you're not saying you wrote something good." And man, it made me chew. And it made me realize I can go all over this world, any room I'm in, instantly. But I can go sit down there and talk with the people that know me most, my mama, my daddy, my brothers, my sisters. And it's almost like, y'all don't know I'm goddamn a genius. I'm constantly trying to convince them.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't say that. Well, who can? I say a lot of shit. That you see what I'm saying, man? But
who can? And look, break that down, because like I said, that go over a lot of people's heads too. Like, you can't say that. Well, who can? Explain what you mean when you say that.
Man, when you travel this journey of understanding and you get down to the base root and logic of things, and it makes sense. Like you say, it ain't nothing deep. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And you see how it work. And you say, that's how it work right there. And you can work it. And you express it and show it. And they say, well, you can't say that. And they saying because they ain't never heard it. And some people that got access to us feel so low about themselves that they don't even think that they can know somebody great or be in the presence of somebody great. So who the hell is you to think you know something that don't nobody know, and I know you, nigga?
And it's almost like, so you can't say that. So if LeBron James said what I said, you will feel it.
Yeah, because I'm not validated. That's what they telling you. You ain't validated to say something that ain't nobody. You ain't validated to have an original thought. And boy, that destroys us as black men when we go out in that world trying to prove it. And we do prove it.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones we want to accept it or see it or validate it, they'll never give it to you, man. That's what's wrong with black men right goddamn now. Man, yeah, this therapy tonight. That's what's wrong with me.
That validation.
Hey, look, man.
You know, it's funny though, because us as black men, when we seeking that validation, we're really saying there's a hierarchy that we never want to admit that exists. What you're doing is you're deferring to my education. You see what I'm saying? That's no different than certain things I defer to you on. You see what I'm saying? So most of us have a problem of knowing who we are without the grind. It's like, okay, the first thing we do is when we meet each other, it's like, what's up, man? I'm Trab, I'm Javon. What you do? What you do? You know what I'm saying? Did you have a nice day? Or it's what you do. I need to know, do I need to respect you or fear you or feel like I'm above you based on what you do? You see what I'm saying? So a motherfucker can say, well, I'm Javon, I'm a lawyer. And you said, I'm Trab, I'm a manufacturing worker. Immediately, I'm thinking I'm better than you. And then as we get ready to having the conversations, and you like, yeah, man, I got a 50-foot fishing boat, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I've been the supervisor on the job 20 years. Now motherfuckers starting to say, manufacturing motherfucker making 150,000. The lawyer is fresh out of college trying to make, you know what I'm saying? We start to judge each other by what we think. You see what I'm saying? So that validation, but sometimes we have to understand it's like the mob. Hey, you vouch for Trav? Yeah, I vouch for Trav. Well, you know, if Trav fuck up, we gonna kill you. So when you vouch for somebody or you validate for somebody, or if you're a person that can be validated, it's still a thing that at all men, we have to say, okay, just when it's my time and who gonna do it.
Yeah,
Because I love the fact that you said, yo, he's a former teacher, blah, blah, blah. Shit, that if anything, that mean I can read the fucking book. At least I can read the book.
You're an English teacher at that. Nah, you know, but now, like I say, and this is me and my inner child speaking. My family, I don't know if they believe I'm really smart as I say I am. Like I say, I was academically gifted. I was the student council president. I was all that shit. I don't know if my mama understand any of that. To this day, you know what I mean?
You're doing a lot down at the school.
You know what I mean? All they know was if I brought home a D or F, they were gonna whoop my ass, and as long as the teacher ain't called about me misbehaving, hell, everything all good. But this is a generational thing that became that excellent, that pursuit to prove something became my therapy and my inner shell as a child to create a family value, to create that thing that would make my family proud. So I had to come up with my own validation system. But as a grown man, we all children that got no.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, go ahead.
If Who Matters ain't never told you they love you. My dad is 70. His mom and daddy gone. He never really got to understand it while they was living. Now ain't nobody here to really tell him. And I can't expect it from them. So now that validation real. I even asked the question more so this. Is there anybody in your life, and I ain't talking just you, I'm talking about anybody who paying some attention. Is there anybody in your life that the divine validation of their soul comes from you and you ain't gave it to them?
Like all you got to do is tell that man, good job, or I love you.
I love you, and you enough.
Wow. It's funny, man, because when you say we all children that's just and got older, it make me think about the validation of some when we was young, man. A lot of people wanted to have sneakers. They wanted to have the nice clothes. And it's wanting to be validated by something you have no control of. You know what I'm saying? When you a kid, you have no control of what your parents can afford, what side of town y'all live on. You know what I'm saying? You have no control over how you go to school. I never forget, man, and I'll never forget this. I used to lie and act like I had to pay for lunch.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be known as a free lunch kid. At my school, that was just like so like, motherfucker, you get free lunch. And we just so young. Some shit some sixth grader done said on the bus, and we kindergarten. If you get free lunch, that means you poor. And I'm in school lying from kindergarten up to about 4th, 5th grade, acting like I'm paying for lunch. That validation, you know how many motherfuckers then crashed out and ruined their life and in prison on drugs, with the wrong woman. You know what I'm saying? Me and my homeboy was talking about that today. All the beautiful women that I see and we see out here in the world, and these rich and famous celebrities want to go get the same woman that another nigga already got a kid by and 2-3 kids by. Me and my wife was talking about that last night. That's what made us have that discussion. You know, talking about her insecurities and my insecurities, and we validate each other. You know what I'm saying? What does she need to wear a lot of makeup for? She already got a husband. You know what I'm saying? She's validated. You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing when you look at that. Who are you? Who are you? And do you feel validated? Validate yourself. It's almost like the whole topic then been changed. And I got to get back on, but man, sometimes like the old folks say, the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, nah. Hey, look. We say let go and let God. We flowing like what? Be like water, my friend. Just flow.
Yeah.
Let me say this before we get off of this though. I got a concept that I call the late bloomer, right?
Yeah.
And we all know these late bloomer type guys.
Yeah.
They was either kind of weird or just wasn't cool a little bit, like you say, in 7th grade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Junior high school, he just never blossomed. Didn't play sports, didn't have charisma. Well, he turned about 43 and he finally done matured to where he get the good job, and now he can go get the car and he can play the image, and now he's going whole crazy because he's getting attention that he ain't never ever got all the way through the prime years of his life. Now he like a pussy hound. You see what I'm saying? He can't turn nothing down because later in life he finally got the validation for his confidence to have a light in his mind.
Yeah.
And it's like, you motherfucker, it's past your time. You see what I'm saying? So,
and I think that's where the podcast.
That's what mess up our race right there.
Exactly. And he's seeking that validation. You know what, my man Deshaun Moore, he called it something. He called it the weirdo Avengers. Man, that's so funny. That's what made me not want to get into a podcast. Because what we have is these weirdo Avengers, these late bloomers, like you said, and now they're seeking the validation on the internet. And mostly it's, if you can group them in all, I hate to say it, it's the red pill guys. It's guys that call themselves red pills. It's like, golly, man, you want successful at marriage. Why are you giving a dating show? Why are you talking about where are you speaking from? You're speaking from a place of all failed relationships. Now you're going to go out here and tell somebody how to be and get a wife and get into a relationship, or women ain't shit, men ain't shit. And you're speaking from a weirdo Avenger perspective, meaning you're a weirdo, but now you got some money or a good job or a nice house. So you got a cape, you're a hero, but you're still a weirdo. So you go out there to save the damsel in distress, and you like, oh my God, I got Lois Lane, and she do your ass just like she would have did you in high school. And now you hurt. And now you out here spewing this weirdo Avenger, late bloomer rhetoric. Yeah. And then it's so many people like that they identify with you, and that becomes so it make it hard for hero training and bears and bubbles of motherfuckers saying, no, this is you. This is you. You are living the life that you are seeing on the goddamn projector in your head. Ain't nothing happening to you out here in this world. You are living in life. You got a movie of a life playing in your head. And you live that life. You projecting that shit out to the world. And golly, man.
Let me say this. Let me make this point, cause you just hit something. Even going back into the Kurt Franklin and these type of guys who late bloomers, and they have the validation. Everybody watching them. All the women sharing their rhetoric. All out of context. All out of order. But they got the validation. And I'm going to tell you something, man. The most powerful thing that someone can pay is their attention. It ain't money. Money is the result of something. The most powerful thing they can pay is their attention. And me and you had a conversation about the Joker. The Joker don't wear a suit. He's not a diamond, a heart, a spade, or a club. But he can trump all that shit on the high and the low. A wise man can play a fool, but a fool can't play a wise man. And we'll play the fool with these guys, but our soul know we ain't wearing no suit. You can't conform this. And we know the attention is what validates us. But we watch people who we know playing in the suits.
Yeah.
Getting the validation. And I don't know if that's like you say, I think so much hurt gets channeled to that in our soul. And I think that's our escape. I think that's where we funnel our hurt to about validation. And we put it, well, man, I just want somebody to watch me. I just want somebody, man, I know I'm worthy. Man, I know I'm the truth. Man, I know they playing. Man, why won't nobody pay attention to the unadulterated from the soul, purposeful truth to really help us become strong as individuals? And it's sad they say, but the truth ain't never popular, dog.
Itching ears, man. That's that. That's something that the Bible say, itching ears. In the last days, folks gonna have itching ears. Motherfuckers' ears is gonna be itching to hear some of that bullshit, you know. And it also say that the fucking we gonna call good evil and evil good. It's like we living in a world where, as a man, you can cosplay a man. A woman can put on the right pants and the right hat and says she a man, and we'll give her credit for it, and vice versa. You see what I'm saying? That's the world we live in. As hard as I know as it is to be a man, I don't know how women feel about that happening, but as hard as I know as it is to be a man, you mean to tell me you gonna put on a Dickie suit and a fucking fitted cap and say you a man? And the world, and guess what the world does? It validates her.
It validate that shit, man.
Yeah, you are.
It validate that shit. And if you say what you just said,
I'm trying to be validated by
hey, look, man,
real man with balls in the dick. Man, this shit is crazy, man.
Hey, they'll crucify your ass for saying something. Hey, look, but I'm gonna say this, and I empathize with you even more. And this real, and this say this. You said the other day, this real life shit. My homeboy saw I was dealing with you. He say, man, I ain't know you hooked up with the Mexican house, dude. He say, man, that's some real shit. I said, yeah, that's my brother, man. And right after that, you said you had a video that went 100 million views viral. 100 million. Listen at that. Before Charleston White, before any of this, 100 million from the World Star days, brother. So, hey, look, goddamn, I don't know what other kind of validation you want, but I'm gonna say this. No.
I see what you mean. I must just want some goddamn money.
God damn. Hey, look. God damn. Hey, look. But I'm saying this. And I can smile in this moment, brother, to know that we worthy to share it together and know that you're a platinum brother.
Yeah.
So in the end of the day, if it's 5 people on here watching us, man, that smile for real, and they enough, dog.
They're enough, you're right. Man. You're right. You're right.
They're enough, man. And I got to wake up every day to understand that more and more, because that becomes, for everybody who great, that dude at work, that lady at work, there's somebody on the grocery store aisle, that you just being a gentleman and say, you know, you can't reach them beans, and you give them beans and make us smile and laugh. Man, we got to know in real life, when I say we all we got, we all we need. If we really about this shit ain't about no fashion and show. And it got to start with me and you, man, to know that.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit. Nah, I'm just in real life, man. We real, man.
You know, the beautiful thing about it, when it's all said and done, what keeps me going and what makes me happy is believing in this shit. You know how you be breaking them words down, and believe, it's like saying, be what you live it to be it, and it's like, if you believe it, like right now, people ask me what you do. I said, I'm a content creator. I got a podcast. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people will hit me. I see them later, and they'll see the views, and they were like, you only had like 300 views. I'm like, so motherfucker, I'm a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what makes me feel good about it. I got an outfit, my watch, my little necklace. I got my black shirt. I got a uniform for this shit. I got a special room. You know what I'm saying? I put an AC unit in my garage, so it was cool, but that shit is picking up on the mic. So I'm like, damn, what's the, you know what I'm saying? Can I win for motherfucking losing? But it don't pick up as that bad though. Yeah, man. But you said something earlier that I wanted to talk about. Tired. You said, man, that motherfucker told me I got 24 more years of this shit. And you said, I hope I live to be 24. Part of that grind, getting tired. What do you do for yourself outside of self-medicating? Men, do men go on self trips? Do men go to the spa day? I ain't talking about no motherfucking homeboys trip fishing with the boys. I'm talking about, I got to thinking when I'm tired, what do I do? I can't recall ever taking a trip for myself. I can't recall making a purchase for myself that was just like, that right there is going to goddamn make me feel like it's all worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's I don't know if it's my personality. It's just like a pair of shoes or a Gucci bag, or maybe if I get that goddamn 62 Chevy Nova hooked up with them damn rims on it, then I feel like that's it. But the point I'm making is, as men, bro, when do we decide, hey, this is my spa day, whatever it is? Why is our piece the garage at the end of the day? Like, my wife has went on a trip for herself, or at the end of the school year, each in the East school year, there's this hotel called the Omni in Durham. I don't know if they have one in Raleigh, or is it the Umstead? I can't remember. They got spas in that motherfucker. They do your face. They got a nice restaurant. A room costs like $400 a night. So you got to get the room to even have access to pay for the other services. Yeah. And she be like, I'm going to do my unsaid thing this week. You know what I'm saying? And I be like, yeah, and I so understand it. But what's up with us and being tired? Do we keep moving, or is that not needed? Like that? Can we afford it? Are we more concerned about if fuck Trav, I'm gonna take the family on a trip? Like, what do you do, or have you ever just said, this is Trav, man, I need a fucking rest? Do your wife ever tell you, hey baby, slow down, you working too hard, take a couple of days off? How does that go for most men? I'm just curious, because I can't recall taking a me week or Javon, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. For me, I only break away to make a way, right? I go to work, I come home. Like you say, a cage with no peace, a home with no peace is the cage of a beast. Yeah. I got peace in my home, and I don't say that lightly. I put a lot of work in keeping that. So for me, I repay myself when I get me that fish box. When I get me that fish box, right?
Yeah, I feel you. Like I said, drugs, food, we self-medicate.
And I hit that thing on the way home in my truck, having me a party while I'm driving. You know what I mean? That's a me moment. And when I get home every day, I got a ritual where I call it mirror work. It's when if you get into the Bible aspect, it say you got to go in your private room, and in that privacy, that's in your mind, that's in that bathroom, unless you stay by yourself. But if you're a man, that's the one solitude we get. And I go in there and have my time and my moment, bro, to truly release and relate. But when I walk out that door, it's game time. Manhood is about serving. That's all we are, as servants. Somebody always depending on us. So when it comes to that ultimate release, I make the sacrifices when my wife say, we going on vacation. And to me, it seems like another responsibility. It seems like another to-do list to prepare for. But when we get there, that's how I know she loved me. Because when I lay back in that pool and I realize, boy, I really needed this. But even in that, I want to share that with who matters and what matters. Like I say, the alone time is what I do every day in that bathroom. Yeah, I go crazy in that motherfucker. I stand in that mirror and I got them say some real shit. I cry. I got them had to look at myself and say, boy, you crazy little motherfucker. But you got to have that. I don't know what that got to look like, but define that.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you something, because I was joking with my wife last night. You said some real shit when you get that fish box on the way home, and you don't get it every day. It's a payday thing. It's normally a payday, or it's a Friday, or it's something special about that fish plate. And I'm gonna tell you, when I go to the Jamaican, man, and I get me some of them oxtails, man, and they be like, you want rice and cabbage? I be like, no. extra oxtails. They be like, oxtail, man, give me extra oxtails. The motherfucking plate might be $60, $70. And I sit there and fuck a plate of them oxtails up, man. And I'm gonna be honest, man. It's harder to catch me on a happier day. I'm serious. It's hard to catch me on a day happier than sitting there where I'm gonna sit there and fuck up a plate of them oxtails like that. And like I said, I normally do it on payday. You know, I get paid every 2 weeks. Like I got a joke. I say, ain't nobody depressed on payday. Ain't nobody mentally ill on payday. You know what I'm saying?
For real. And I want to say this too, because I got to say this in regards to my family. Every Thursday and not every Tuesday, I shut the house down and do my thing. So this is a part of my release. This is a part of my, you know what I mean?
And what you mean when you say shut the house down? You do your thing and singing your songs. What do you mean when you say that?
No, I'm talking about when I'm doing my show, and now on Tuesday when I do this. My setup is in my kitchen, in my island. You know what I mean? So
okay. I don't know why I'm thinking you in the garage. Yeah.
They on the other side of the house, and they know they got their doors closed, and you know, Daddy finna act a goddamn fool in here for about an hour. So
it's like daddy time. Yeah. And you know what? I think that's gonna be so helpful for your kids as they got older to see their daddy do his thing. Just hear daddy in his cool mode and you know what I'm saying, outside of just daddy providing and being a father, you know, just to see the hero training thing going on in the kitchen. Man, back to grinding. There was a time where I had always said, man, I just want to relax. And I had the opportunity through the grace of God, the grace of the Father, when my daughter was born. She was born with Down syndrome. And I was like, I had just started back teaching, and it was right after COVID. I taught 1 year, and I said, man, if I'm gonna worry about somebody else's kids, I'm a master teacher. I got to really work with her. You know what I'm saying? And my wife was doing her student teaching, and she just fell in love with teaching, just a whole nother purpose. And she was like, well, let me be a teacher and you stay at home with Crystal. And I was like, cool. You know, I'm obsessed with this little girl. And man, that was, how can I say this? The most boring. Man, I felt unuseful. I felt useless. I really think I went through a baby depression of not getting up, going to work, or being an earner, or being at home with a child. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just throwing that out there. I can relate to women. But has you ever been through a period where you lost your job or you weren't working or something? How did you feel it in that period?
Well, man, it's funny you say that. Hey, look, I'm gonna say this too, man. For all these years, like you say, man, I think you be fucking with me sometime too, man. Ain't no way you bring up this conversation when
look, it's funny because Miss Carla said that. Discuss a time when you were not working. How did you feel as a man? It was one of her questions. I ain't make that shit up. Yeah.
I told you I've had 2 jobs as a grown man. My first job, I worked there for 11 years. And the job I'm at now, I worked there for 16 years. And the first job, I got fired on my birthday. 28 years old, plant manager, $100,000 a year, 2008, right? I get fired on my birthday. I cried, Javon. My music was at an all-time high. Just opened up doing shows with Lil Boosie. Everything was going everything. I got fired. But all I know was, man, I done had this good job, working 7 days a week, living a life of everything everybody working for.
Yeah.
And like you say, who am I without a job? But at that time, I was at my heaviest. I was about 360, right? But I was living the top of my life.
Yeah.
All I wanted was kids. Mm-hmm. But I had to channel that hurt. So, dog, I went in the wilderness like they did in the Bible. I ran 2 miles. Mm-hmm. They say he who walked with God is one who could tame the beast. The beast is your appetite. I tame my appetite. No sugar, no fried food, no anything. I'm talking about, man, I became something. I don't know who the fuck I was. I was in the wilderness. But I trained myself so much because I ain't had work. I found out who I was. I made 2 children during that time. The children I got now. My son's 16.
Yeah.
In that one period when I ain't had no job, I was free.
Yeah.
I found myself. And even, I'm gonna say this, even on the deeper side, it's a concept to say when you get into the book of Job, you spell Job Job.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that's about. Your
Yeah.
job will test you in every way to show God you worship the job and feel the job and that stability more than you love God. And most of us, man, can't fathom who we would be outside that job and that security. And it kills us and we never know. But I found myself jobless and I've been trying my best to find his ass again. I need to get fired, but I can't got you get, but you see how that works, man.
I know what you mean. It's funny. It says she wrote down, like I said, I give her credit for just, you know what I'm saying. So I don't want to sit and act like I'm making this shit up, but I give her credit as a producer and a co-host. She says, and even deeper, we got to ask, it's our grind just covering up our fear of being unneeded, fear of being emotionally empty if we stop performing.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think we're all, and look, man, I ain't talking about me, but this real shit. I don't know nothing more than I know me. A shaman say, you still scared. I say, how you know? He worked with me. He say, cause you still work here. He say, man, you weigh more than any of this shit, but you scared to turn around. He said, you want what's in the window. Let me tell you what an Asian man told me, Javon. He said, you want what's in the window. I said, what that mean? He said, you want what Dr. Umar Johnson got. That's the window. But he ain't a quarter of what you is. Turn around from the window, right? And he know that I ain't turned around because I have let that stability, the protection of failure, the thought of disappointing my wife and children, or feeling like it's selfish for me to abandon what I know is security that's giving my family stability.
Yeah.
So the grind has become my fear. And I live, like I said, I got to practice what I preach and be what I teach.
You know what, Trav? That's why I feel like when I say in Bears and Bubbles, I say everything I ever wanted gonna be given to me. It's gonna come easy. Meaning this. Say for example, what you just said. The guy said, you still scared because you still own your job. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we can manifest it the way we want to manifest it. Like Tyler Perry and these different actors and these different people that made it in their respective careers said, I was homeless. I slept in my car. I didn't eat. I was on the road. I'm like, well, I'm going to be a married man at the house in my motherfucking garage talking my shit. And I'm saying it's going to happen a different way. So, you know, what you were saying about just now and trying to encourage you, like saying you ain't got to quit your job. And, you know, it's like, you can quit your job tomorrow, but you still don't know what you're going to do and how you're going to do it to blow. So I said, shit, work, get your security from your job and keep running your motherfucking mouth on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's how I think it's going to happen for me. I don't think I'm going to have this, man, I started my podcast and had to leave and move to New York. When, you know, just a lot of shit that people can tell you how they think your life should blow.
Yeah.
And they ain't willing to do or know what it takes for you. They don't know the mental health. That's why I love this show with you. I'm like, okay, Trav dropping jewels. Trav is more, I want Trav to be the more animated one. I'm just kind of coasting. You know what I'm saying? I really believe, my wife will tell you this, and I'm a prophet. Nobody believes this. But I told my wife, I said, that man Kevin Samuel's going to die early. She said, why you say that? I said, Chris, I know how I feel for your blood pressure and your heart, your blood pressure, your goddamn mental attached to this social media shit and people looking at you and you want to be validated and you blowing. I know how I felt to be at the top of your shit. And it's like, Why can't I just be happy? Like what's that old saying? More money, more problems. The more people listening at you, the more you want to be right and reach people the right way. Long story short, I was telling her, I said, Chris, this sudden fame and what he's going through, and people saying he hate women and he hate this. I said, Chris, I'm watching this man go live, and I watched him religiously. I said, Chris, I'm watching this man drink 2 Red Bulls in a 3-4 hour period. That stress attached to this shit, man, why you think all them celebrities and shit be killing themselves ODing? You would never think Michael Jackson need a shot to go to sleep.
Come on, man.
This motherfucker need a shot to go to sleep, man.
That's why I say, man, in real life, I ain't talking make-believe. That's why it's important to know who you is, know what it look like, know what matters, know what you will do and accept for free. Because if you don't have the answer to these questions, you will be doing any goddamn thing for all the wrong reasons. And that's what that shit lead to. You see what I'm saying? It don't lead to no peace. I'm gonna say this, man. Like you say, just keep going to work, do it on that. Well, that's what I'm doing. And going back to that validation, why ain't that enough, Javon? Why ain't that enough for me? Like I said, I'm a rich man. Why ain't that enough? Ain't nobody above the bullshit. Once again, you did a lesson one time about shame. I ain't ashamed to say I'm addicted to this shit. My wife say, why you gotta wake up in the middle of the night at 3 in the morning and check your phone? What's going on? I say, I got seeds planted that could sprout at any time of the day. And I just wake up hoping something done changed our fucking life. And I think about it while I'm asleep in every goddamn thing. That's all my mind think of is when the seed of validation comes that I could change our life and be more powerful than my cup run over, that I know the value in my soul is. That's why. And I'm addicted to that shit. And I can't let it go. And I know I'm enough.
Man,
I don't know really what got to validate me, man.
That's crazy how you said that, because the way you just said that, it's like when I check my IG now, my IG is starting to get a lot more buzz. Every time I check it, for some reason, IG, when you get 100 comments, it'll say you got 100 and it won't go to 101. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know how many you got over 100. So every time I look at my IG now, that bitch say 100. And I done changed. It's funny how your mind changed and your expectation changed, because what used to go from, I don't read comments no more, like just seeing what people say anymore. I don't give a fuck about that, because I know, but it's like when I go to my IG, I'm looking, I scroll and I see that 100 every time. If I see less than 100, I'm like, damn, my shit ain't popping. I done got to the point where I don't see nothing but 100. And then every time I scroll down, IG is set priority. Like if a big time motherfucker, you like your shit, a person that's popular or got a lot of whatever, and they got the blue check. So I'm about to pay for that little check, whatever the shit. And I'm seeing so many people that's got 200,000-300,000 followers. That's bigger than me, influencers liking and commenting on my shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing, like you said, waking up at 3 in the morning, checking your shit. It's the thing that I say it's what's the mental part that's driving us fucking crazy.
But hey, look, but like you say,
but it's the driving force. You see what I'm saying?
But from another perspective, just like you use Kirk Franklin, that's the dog from somebody who ain't got what it take to even be checking traps.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? That's the dog. That's the when this shit happens. Ain't no if. When this shit happens, that's the testimony. That crazy motherfucker used to get up and check that goddamn phone every day. That's how much I believed in this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I say the only thing between me and mine is time. And as long as I wake up every day, I'm closing in on that motherfucker. See
Yeah,
what I'm saying, man?
because this is the thing. This is the thing, and I said in my Bears and Bubbles class, we all addicted to this shit. I can't imagine being addicted to this shit, being a consumer. Like, I'm addicted to this shit. I think I'm changing the world and giving out knowledge. I can't imagine being addicted to this shit, waking up wanting to see what Jay-Z said or whatever the shit.
Yeah.
It's like I really be sitting back and when I don't look at this shit, my day go better.
Yeah.
I mean, is it like that for you? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know that, but I'm gonna say it like this right here though. We so fucked up with each other that we'll shame the very same thing we all want.
Yeah,
we'll do anything for attention. Everybody want attention. That's what's
you
wrong
got
with your
that
woman.
right.
You ain't paying.
I want to be heard.
Yeah, that's what's wrong with your woman. That's why she got an attitude. You ain't paying her no attention, motherfucker. You talking about all I want to. Everybody want it. You too crazy not to understand that. But I'm saying that to say this. Somebody say, boy, you be on Facebook all day. And I say, you be on there all day to see me on the motherfucker, don't you?
Yeah.
See how that works?
Yeah.
So someone will shame you for being a giver while they receiving everything you give. But what they're really saying is, see, let me tell you how envy and jealousy work. This is a key point. It starts off as admiration.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, boy. Javon be saying some real shit all day long. And they say if you really want to see it, all you got to do is close your eyes. But when they close their eyes, they can't see themselves. They keep on seeing you. Mm-hmm. And that started to get frustrating. Then it turned into jealousy. Mm-hmm. Then it turned into envy because you can be something that they can't see themselves being. So in order to project that on you, to say, man, all you do is be on, all he do, and they want you to put out your light so they can see themselves. You see what I'm saying?
Facebook ass nigga.
Yeah, yeah. They say all the thing because they ain't got the courage to say, hey, I'm worthy of some attention. So we're ashamed of the very same things we all want. And that's some backwards ass validation too. You know what I mean?
You know, the funny thing about it is when you say it like you said, because I want to be heard. When I look at this shit, it bring me down because how can I explain it? Every time I look at this shit, my algorithm, the shit I talk about come up in your algorithm. You get it? You see what I'm saying? So whenever I open my phone up, it's some black political something that said, damn, I was feeling good until I saw that shit, or I was feeling good till I read this comment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean when I say it when I say, hey man, when I turn my phone off outside of this, wanting this attention, wanting to be this man that want to be heard, I have a beautiful life. I don't be stressed. My stress comes from that dog in me, like you say, that wants to be heard, that wants to, and I keep trying to say to myself, Javon, is this your ego or do you truly want to help people? Mm-hmm. That's the hardest part about it for me.
You know what makes you a master though, man? Listen at the conversation you just said that you have with yourself. That's the game. That's the fight. You're giving evidence of the pursuit to be better.
Yeah.
The question is more powerful than the answer. All you talking about is a series of questions and understanding. You really know where you're weak at. You're really telling your weaknesses. You're really being vulnerable in the moment way more than people can really understand. And if someone ain't genuine, they'll try to take what you just said and use it to attack your weakness. But you're really just being open enough to share your process of being a master.
And the crazy thing about it, Trav, is I always said that's what Christ is. He died to himself for the others. It's almost like how can I relate this to it? I remember I was talking about when I was a little kid, I had got molested and somebody was laughing or saying some shit. And I said, well, I'm a 6'6" handsome man. I'm in my manhood. I know myself. I'm a child. That's something that happened to me. I'm a victim in this situation. It was my way of saying, if I can say this happened to me, the person who feels smaller and more insignificant to me can heal and see this as well. If Javon say, shit, I was a child, man, I ain't do that. I ain't pour no motherfucker to me. You see what I'm saying? So it's like dying. It's like me saying that. Me being vulnerable enough to say, I question myself, Javon, do you really want to help people, or is it your ego want to be seen? And I always find myself, and my wife will tell you, making sure I'm helping people in real life to tell myself that it ain't my ego that just want to be seen in this motherfucking virtual world.
See, you see what I'm saying, man?
You see what I'm saying? Why you always giving people, my homeboys, like, why you get that nigga $20? Because he got a sign. You gave him a whole dub, though. Hey, man, fuck it. Make his day, man. Shit. You know what I'm saying?
We all, I done heard you say it and I stand on it. And I say, man, I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in nothing. And like you say, because I be living in it. I live in this shit.
Yeah.
The truth is unbelievable. You understand what I'm saying? So just in this moment, like you say, you showing vulnerability. How do you become a master? The master of self. Can you be real enough? And I say this, and this ain't deep. Man, you start that day, you got to go brush them teeth. You got to stand in that mirror at some point. Can you be real enough to ask yourself some real questions, be honest enough with yourself, and open that bathroom door and deal with the answers that you truthfully told yourself? That ain't deep, Javon. You just sharing it on live.
Yeah.
You're sharing it on the show. But I got to do the same thing. That's why we can stand here and talk about it. And if you listening, do you really love that woman? Or do you really love that man? Or are they just a sense of security?
Yeah.
Man, some people, hey, look. If you ain't married and you with somebody, ask yourself that in the bathroom. And don't lie to you. If you can look in your own eyes and lie to yourself,
it'll make you feel bad about yourself when you
ain't worried.
You be like, if it's almost like this. I was going to ask you a question earlier about this grind, this who are we? If you hit the lottery tomorrow and you didn't have to work again and you couldn't come on this motherfucking internet and talk your shit and you had your 20 million to yourself and you couldn't talk your shit, would you rather work your job and talk your shit or have your 20 million and never be seen?
Hold on. But in real life, I'm living a regular life.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah. Give me my porch and let me sit there all day and bring the world to me. No cameras allowed. Yeah. Hey, look, that's what I want. All I want is a witness. Can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? If we could pack a building up. Fuck this internet shit. Man, this shit real life.
No. You misinterpreted what I'm saying.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, pull me back in. God damn it, I was gone on that.
You get your money from the lottery and you can't be heard now. You can't bring the world to you. This shit that's in you that you want to talk and reach, this hero training got to die when you sign that goddamn lottery check.
Well, people can come to my house, can't they?
You can't talk about it no more. That's the point I'm making.
I don't even know how to interpret that shit. Hey, look, I don't know how to visualize that shit.
I know it's a little extreme. It's almost like saying, okay, I'm coming to you and said, Trav, I got a check for $20 million. You sit back, quit your job, and just live your life, and you can't talk this shit. I'm paying you to shut up this hero.
No, I guess can't do that. I can't do that, dog. I can't do that.
That's what I was saying.
I can't do that.
If somebody told me, you know, I remember when I was in college, I remember Jesus telling a story, said he had money like everybody else, and they was throwing money in the club, and they was driving Ferraris and Lamborghinis, but people didn't know who he was. And he was like, he wanted to be known more than he wanted the fucking money. Yeah. That's what he literally was saying. That's why he started rapping. He was like, shit, I want to be known. The point I'm making is I asked you a question to kind of really make a point that I'm saying. Hey, bro, if you told me I couldn't talk my shit, man, you might as well kill me, man. You taking the thing that I've been like this since I was a child. You're taking the very thing, my voice, from me. If you told me, man, you can't talk your shit, man, keep that money, man.
Hey, look, let me tell the story. I remember when I was 14, I told you I was a master barber. I don't know who taught me how to cut hair. That shit just made sense to me.
Yeah.
Man, I was a master barber at 14. Everybody, grown men, Vietnam vets, everybody came and sat in a child chair and poured their soul into me. That's how I learned a lot. I know.
Yeah, because you tell your barber everything.
Man, hey, look, man.
Everything.
I'm talking about a child, dog. And I would love cutting hair because I always say I could cut somebody's head from the inside out. When I hand them that mirror, that shit was spiritual to me. Before I knew anything about being woke, anything about anything, I knew I had the power that when I handed someone a mirror and they saw themselves, boy, that was like alchemy, right? So I remember thinking my whole life, man, I'm going to be a barber my whole life. And I discovered one thing. So you mean to tell me I ain't got to cut nobody hair to talk to them? And them to listen to me.
Yeah.
Boy, I don't give a damn about cutting hair no more.
Wow.
I understood that our gifts can lead us to our purpose. But when you find that purpose, dog, can't nothing validate or devalidate that. And you can't trade nothing for that, man. And that's what this is right here, dog. That's what this is right here, man. I got so many gifts. To do this. And we're doing this for free right now, dog. And we worth millions. We're doing this shit for free, Javon. Think about it, dog.
Yeah.
We're doing this for free, and it's worth millions.
And I would, and look, and if the funny thing about me, I joke with Chris. I said, Chris, if I was rich and famous, I would get up and do barrels and bubbles every day the rest of my life. Because that's really what I want. I want people to find self-discovery, man. I want people, and when I say self-discovery, I'm really just saying the same thing you saying. Everybody be their own hero. Trav, wrap us up, man. I got to go to work. What's the word for the night?
Man, once again, each one reach one. Each one teach one. If you that one, you got to know you are enough. Enough to get it all right when everything going all wrong, man. You enough. Be enough. Wake up. When your feet hit the ground, be you.
And I'm going to end it with a song. I'm coming up.
Coming up.
On the rough side
of the mountain. And I'm doing my best to make it.
Hey, y'all stay tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. Me and Miss Carla be here tomorrow. Y'all check out me and Trab every Tuesday. Me and my wife every Monday. Trab got a book called Hero Training. Trab is live on Facebook every Thursday at 9:30. Amazon. Go search Amazon Hero Training. The power of perspective. It's a real good book. It's a good read. It got some pictures in it, some powerful art in it. It's just a good read overall. I mean, and it's really like a manual. You know what it reminded me of? When I was in church, I had read this book called A Purpose-Driven Life, and it had like a manual with it, and you would write and answer questions and shit. And when you go back and look at it over a year, you was able to see, you know, your growth and blah, 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 blah. It's really like a very, very, very chill manual without all the fucking, I ain't got to write no goddamn paragraphs and research no words. You know what I'm saying? So y'all go check that out. And I was joking with Trab. I said, shit, we got a damn fire on the log. That's my goddamn book too, Jack.
Yeah, you better know it. You better know.
When that bitch hit the bestsellers list, I'm gonna be like, bing.
Yeah, hey look.
Master teacher. So no matter how you look at it, in my mind, we equal, but I still feel like I'm the teacher. He one of my students. Shit, his book blow. I'm like, shit, I'm gonna eat off that motherfucker too, Jack.
hey, that's how it work, brother. That's how it work. And I'm cool with, I'm cool with whoever I am in your movie. Cause in my movie, boy, I write you as, boy, hey, look, boy, you wrote as a master of all masters.
That's
so it's all good. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you. I love you, man. You be good, bro.
Love you too, man. All right.
Peace out.